Hello, everyone. We are back. Okay. So, do y'all want to spend the night here? Or sorry, no, you probably. It was morning when V came out of the captain's quarters on the ship as it pulled into the creche. And then it's a 5-hour trip to Ashwood from the creche on Mooseback. So it's probably around, like, I don't know, we'll say about 3 p.m. by this point. So what do you all want to do?
I would like to head back to the creche. I did not know that it was frequented as a trade stop by other folks, and it makes me very nervous not to let my crew know that there could be company coming from outside, especially since we've massacred the entire place. So I'd like to head back and make preparations as well as I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Billiam lets you know that, like, well, they said that people do come and trade there. It's not that it's frequent, but it does, like, happen enough that it's, not a weird thing to have happen. But it's
Well, with our luck, it will happen tonight. So,
okay.
She has a very, very valid point. Uh, who who here are your two best swimmers?
Uh, Lottie and Otis step forward, and Dale like says, "Lottie, that ain't true," and she says, "It is with your arm with a hole in it." And he looks down at his arm with like the bandage around, and he's like, "Shit, yeah." Damn
Thanks,
it, Otis. And Otis looks like shamefaced. He says, "We all fuck up sometimes."
Dorothy says, "Give me that," and grabs the arm and casts Cure Wounds on it. And if my bonus is, it's an auto cast, and let's see if I get tainted. We'll say I do not get tainted.
Okay.
hooray.
Is this a special character?
No.
Okay,
But,
well, 10 points of damage healed.
Yeah. Viper, was there like much in the way of magic in Ashwood?
Well, there's me.
What an answer. So,
Probably not much in the way you would think of when you think of Dorothy doing magic.
well, the fish man did some magic.
Yeah, the fishies did do some magic. I would say it's probably not completely alien to them. Just because of the relationship with the Graven Guard and the whales.
Yeah. Okay.
So magic's not weird, but they probably don't do it themselves.
Yeah.
I think more like spirituality versus magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Dale is surprised as you do this. He says, "Well, ain't that nifty? Thank you very much, ma'am." And he like points at Lottie and like moves his arm around a bunch to like show that his arm is fine. She's like, "Dang, all right." And Dale turns to Viper and says, "All right, what do you need us for?"
I want the two best swimmers to go with me back to the creche. I got some introductions to make.
All right.
Yeah. Y'all need to meet some whales.
Ah, cool. Okay, so Dale and Otis are gonna go with you when you return. And Dorothy, I'm guessing you're not gonna stay behind in this hole with the other elves?
Guess not.
I mean, if you want to.
I did ask about your notes on the spark.
It's true, I should probably cover some notes.
It's a dank cavern with lots of skulls. They're interested in arcane research.
I don't like being separated from Foxglove.
That is true. Yeah.
There has to be a
I also don't want to have to
They
keep
have
casting
like a-
myself.
Oh wait, you still have that going on? Oh.
Sailors are suspicious. Do you want to be stuck on a boat with a haunted as fuck doll?
I mean, we are. There's no avoiding that at this point.
Rude.
I guess the answer is yeah, we do, actually. You're a valued member of our crew.
She's our haunted as fuck doll.
It's pretty alright, actually.
I wonder if there's a way to get Foxglove down here that's just like a temporary elevator, if you will.
Y'all got a cooking pot?
Yeah.
You ask that?
Yeah.
They say, yeah, what for?
Alright. You need to make a diving bell.
What?
You'll see. It's gonna be great.
I'm mighty confused.
Grab the pot and say, Dorothy, let's go get Foxglove.
Okay.
Now let me say, dog is not gonna fit in that.
Oh, well. Dog is much, much better at swimming.
The only part of dog that needs to fit is the head.
I'm just picturing like
not
V
wrong.
putting the pot on the dog's head and like taping the lid
Big
to
pot.
the bottom of the dog's jaw
Big
and then just
pot.
being like, this is good, right? And there's just like clearly a space between the lid and the pot.
They just
as long as it stays down,
as long as it doesn't tip, it's fine.
the dog's fine. You just hold the pot, and then you carry the dog through the thing. It's good to go. It's like a really uncomfortable 5 minutes for the dog, but it's only 5 minutes.
Look, dog made the swim check. And I'm just being a bit of a pain in the ass about this. Okay. So you ferry Foxglove in a pot held closed.
Can I
just
just
turn
say,
it upside down. You don't even have to close it. Just turn it upside down.
Yeah, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean with a boat. It's the same premise.
I just say that dog is a chow chow, so I'm just so excited to see that like just giant fluff. Just excellent.
Okay. So you bring the two of them in here, and oh, what's her name? Mamie sees dog and is like, "Oh my god, I haven't seen a dog in years," and is just like so excited. What's its name?
What?
The dog. What's the dog's name?
Why would you name a dog?
What would you? Because it's a valued member of the community.
I just, I just kind of put my hand on her shoulder and say, we just call him Dog.
Yeah, we just call it a dog.
So the name's Dog. All right. Yeah, that's fine. I was just asking.
It's not its name, it's what it is.
I'm gonna go pet the dog.
Okay.
I feel like Dog is probably very excited to be getting some loving attention.
It gets plenty from Foxglove.
Okay. All right, so you like open the pot and show Foxglove, and Lottie is like, "What in the hell?"
That's Foxglove.
So you named a rat, but not the dog.
No, her name is Foxglove. She told me.
You know what? You can do magic. I ain't gonna say shit. All right.
Believe me, kid, that rat is very impressive.
All rats are.
So you needed the pot to bring the rat down here?
How long do you think rats can hold their breath?
No, I mean, probably not long. They're small, but I was gonna like, if you said that, I would have said, take her down the chimney. We get air in here through the chimney over there.
Do you have like a
Can we
dumbwaiter?
pretend that's not true?
What a weird question.
That would have been much smarter. Yes. I forget that you guys need air. So
Yeah. Well,
All right.
Don't worry about it, Dorothy. I solved it.
thank you.
Says Viper, the super genius.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, V, Gentleman Moose, Viper, Dale, and Otis are going back to the creche. Dog, Foxglove, and Dorothy are staying here with the rest of the elves to consult on what they know about the Sparked. Okay. So it is a 5-hour journey on Gentleman Moose back to the creche. And Dale is like, this is generally not how we move through these woods. This makes me concerned about Sparked Finest. No offense to this fine fella, but he makes a boatload of noise.
he sure doesn't. I get bonuses for moving through woods. Yeah, this motherfucker's got Pathfinder basics forest/jungle. Eat shit, Otis.
Yeah, fuck you, Otis.
Madam V's like counterpoint and then presses the stealth button.
Yeah, okay. V. Also, the rider is the one who I believe chooses the role.
For what?
For when someone's mounted. Let me just quickly. Page 215.
Well,
who is
also,
it?
if they're gonna be tramping through the woods, I can also give them a pass without trace.
Where is it? Where does it say about what skills are used here? Size. The mounted character's attack and skill bonuses are determined by the half of the pair that performs each action. Okay, so Gentleman Moose needs to make the stealth roll.
Okay.
Does he have stealth?
It does have sneak 3.
Sneak, yes. Okay, that's the skill, not stealth. And then would get the bonus from Pathfinder Basics.
Right, which I think brings it up to a +6. So I will 1d20 plus. That's a, that's a that's a 13.
Do you want to spend any action dice?
Sure. That was a 15.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So, Gentleman Moose. What does it look like as V like commands Gentleman Moose to do it quietly?
I think, uh, hmm. I think that she like sort of reins him in a bit and makes sort of a shushing and clicking sound, and like it's a pattern. It's a sort of that she sort of falls into, and like it uh the pattern overlaps with Gentleman Moose's footsteps, and then as she gets quieter, so do his footsteps until it stops making noise.
Cool. So, Otis says, "Yeah, okay, that was impressive."
You know, we don't really. Enclave is a city. There's not a whole lot of space here, but I think we're enjoying this rather immensely.
Okay. Is there anything you want to do on your 5-hour walk back to the creche?
Just sit in awkward silence.
I think that Madame V will occasionally like turn to the two elves and ask questions about like oh, I think she's very interested in the botany, the flora um of the woods and eventually of the swamp, thinking especially with a few of the flowers and the more beautiful leaved bushes and stuff, like how would you cultivate this if you were to cultivate it and things like that.
Okay. Um, so you find in asking that they've got some interesting gaps in their knowledge.
Mm.
They can definitely tell you like what is safe to touch, what is safe to eat. They have opinions on what the prettiest of the plants in the area are, but they don't really know much about cultivation outside of what can grow underground.
Mm.
Mushrooms, they know how to grow those, but anything that grows above ground, they don't really know. I mean, they never had the opportunity to learn that stuff, really. Well, they've got some knowledge from when they were kids, but nothing encyclopedic.
Well, it's very good to know what grows without light or with very little light, so that's still productive.
Mm-hmm. Viper, is there anything you want to do on this ride back?
So everyone that survived was kids.
Yeah. The
Okay.
adults told us to run when things broke bad. And we ran to the place that we knew was safe. Our hangout hole, which became our home.
Well, y'all did good. No denying that.
Was the path to the hidey hole saltwater?
Well, that pond, well, that body of water is always there. But we just ran like hell through the woods. Hell, there was more of us then reached the hole.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
It's old wounds. Don't worry about it.
Sure. I was just curious as to if the what do you call it? The alkaline of that water maybe helped.
I don't know. I mean, now we know that the salt keeps them away. So definitely the salt in the water helped us. That's what keeps them out of the hole. Pretty sure. Gotta say, it's nice to be out and not covered in mud. It's a nice change.
So I don't suppose amongst all the engineering work y'all kids took up, there was a whole lot of time to keep up with the martial traditions. I mean, although to be fair, y'all have killed a shitload of sparked.
Yeah, we gotten pretty good at ambushes, and not bad with bows. But we try and stay out of arm's reach of them.
Yeah, trust me, a stand-up fight with the sparked is not where you want to be.
Definitely not, especially considering how badly they outnumber us here. That's actually, I think this would be like a transition if this was a show. Would be like Otis about to say something about what they know about the spark, and it goes to Dorothy and and Lottie discussing their knowledge of the sparked. And Lottie says something we did notice is that I don't know if it's intentional or not, but once one of them starts sparking and makes that crackling noise, that tends to draw more of them. Do you have what questions do you have for them about
I thought I could do this, but I think I have to bounce. I'm feeling even worse than when I started. So I think the separation of the party might be a good place for me to head on out. I'm really sick and I need to lie down.
Well, thank you for toughing it out this far.
Yeah, for real.
And I also want everyone to enjoy this little pumpkin man that I drew.
Very good, pumpkin man.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really sorry, but I need to go.
Okay.
Fair.
Hope you feel better.
Yeah.
You.
Rest up.
Hope I don't mess up the screen too
Oh,
much.
you will, but I'll fix it.
Yay! Salt the earth as I leave.
But luckily, I already have a three-person screens already prepared from last week when Sasha came in a bit late.
Aha.
So
It was all part of the plan.
yeah. Okay. All right then. So we don't actually have that cut over to Dorothy. Turns out. So. Oops. Wait, why did that? Oh. There we go. Okay. All right. So yes, the four of you are on Gentleman Moose's back, and so you get that information that Lottie was just imparting to Dorothy about the sparks crackling having a tendency to summon more sparked, but it not being clear if that's like purposeful or just consequence of the fact that sparked spark when under duress for the as far as they can tell. So anything else you want to do on your trip? You'll be getting back to the creche at about 8 p.m., so after sundown.
I don't think so. It's really just a matter of um, Madam V is gonna sort of keep asking about the landscape primarily, and sort of what still lives out here, right? What small things haven't been sparked, and what avenues are easiest to get from Ashwood to the creation, is like really looking to Viper and the two elves for that.
Okay. Viper, you got any input on the easiest path from Ashwood to the Crèche? Was there?
This is what you mean by easiest, because all the times I ever made the trip, it was just on foot, and just me. So that's a big difference from industrial scale transport of goods and workers.
Does Ashwood have a bay?
Viper, Ashwood is located a bit inland, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's outside of the swamp. Well, the original settlement was outside of the swamp, but away from the coast. Sort of on the edge of the swamp where it begins to dry out into forest, if I recall correctly.
Well, that being said, the forest extends much closer to the coast than where actual Ashwood is. So,
it might be useful to. It certainly doesn't have to happen now, but it could be useful to have a port that is closer to Enclave, because a straight shot makes a lot more sense than a roundabout, to the south end of the island. But it depends on how things shake out, I suppose.
Dale says, well, you being a sailor, you'd certainly know more about that than I would. I'm sure Wilmer would love to get your expertise on nautical matters.
I think Madame can't help but kind of laugh and look at Viper. It's like, oh, I'm the expert now in sailing. Yes, you're completely correct. I own a boat. I am the captain of that boat. Yes. Sailing expert, Madame V. Sure.
I think that's probably a good place to end that scene. Because you definitely get, like, Dale and Otis looking at each other like, I think we're missing something.
The Dunning-Kruger effect is in full force today. I've been sailing for like 2 days. I feel like I know what I'm doing.
The scene ends with the Viper casually pulling Madame V's character sheet out of her backpack and checking the ranks in that ride skill.
Oh, yes.
Do you have the water vehicle's focus? I can't recall.
I super don't.
Right.
I have land vehicle and riding mount.
Right, okay.
Dorothy's the one who took water vehicle.
Considering that you're the the Lancer, you might want to invest in that water vehicle focused, unless you really dig this joke. Because getting that would make you an astoundingly good sailor.
That's very true. I'll have to look into that. Maybe actually learning how to now that I have a boat. Yeah.
Next level up, Madame V takes a correspondence course in
Okay.
recreational sailing.
Sailing in you.
So as it gets dark, you see that Otis and Dale, they definitely get tenser. This whole time they've had their bows on their laps with arrows not knocked exactly, but like in hand, prepared to shoot anything that looks electrified. As you approach the creche, you can make it out before you actually get a clear line of sight to it, because the Quodlibet is festooned in lanterns, and there are people moving about, loading the ship with your pilfered goods, with lanterns as well. It's clearly, once you get a line of sight to it, you can see that it's a bit of an awkward arrangement, as most of the stuff is underwater, so people are diving down and bringing it back up. And I think it's just like, at this point, no one's really doing any of that diving for stuff at this point, because it's too dark to get anything, really. They're just loading what's on the floating dock.
Nobody brought waterproof flashlights?
No. I think...
I mean, flares would work.
Yeah, I was going to say that, like, as you get closer, you can definitely see Ink is on the dock with Hanar on the floating dock. And over the water, you can hear Ink, like, not quite having an argument with Hanar about, like, look, I made these, they'll work underwater, trust me. And Hanar is like, no, we are not, like, testing out potential explosives underwater. Ink.
Close quarters underwater where our crew is going.
Yeah. Ink, very interested in testing this out. Hanar, very uninterested. And so there's a shout that goes up once people spot Gentleman Moose's silhouette blocking out some of the stars as he moves into the lagoon with all of you on his back. And give me a sense motive, y'all.
Sure. Oh, that's a 7.
19.
Okay, Viper, as you get closer, you can tell that the crew is on edge. They are a lot of them are looking out words from the ship. No one is shoreside. Most of them, those who aren't loading stuff, have like bill hooks and whatever sort of melee weapons the ship has in their hands. As a reminder, like, the crew aren't armed per se, right? Like, you've got a couple of fighters, but the ship doesn't have like crossbows or muskets or...
Yeah, we definitely don't have any like siege weaponry or anything on deck. So.
Yeah, definitely don't have that. But I mean, even just like I said, crossbows, you don't even have those for your folks. So they don't have any ranged weapons. And
we were on a budget, Austin. You don't have to make us feel bad about it.
I mean, we just picked up a bunch of weapons from this settlement of sea devils.
You got harpoons and you got machetes, which yeah, harpoons can be thrown, but not like super far, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
Now that y'all know that the Sparked don't like salt, it's safe to say that the ship is safe from any land-bound Sparked. Same with the floating dock. But the crew doesn't know that. So they're all real nervous about, like, being so close to land. Because they figure that, I mean, y'all did get attacked by Spark while you're out in the ocean, in the middle of the ocean. So why wouldn't you get attacked now when you're, like, in harbor?
You know, that's fair. I think that
Holy
when
shit! I just realized that that's why the birds ran away when the whale spouted on them. Austin, you cunning devil.
I'm glad you appreciate my brilliance.
I think when she comes in, Madame V does a big wave and holler back to folks that she sees, and she gets up to Hanar and dismounts and introduces the two elves who I have forgotten what their names were. Um,
As you approach and give your holler of greeting, definitely like the crew cheers with your return.
oh, that feels nice.
Um, and sorry, I thought I was gonna sneeze. Yeah, so the two elves are Otis and Dale.
Right, yes.
Yes, and Hanner says, Captain, it's good to see you return. The crew are getting a mite nervous being this close to shore, especially in the dark.
Well, I have fantastic news, which is if it's sparked we're worried about, then we don't have to worry about them because they are averse to salt, and this place is as salty as one can get.
As salty as me, you might say.
You said it, I didn't.
Yeah, well, she turns to Ink and says, Never mind your damn flare. Go let the rest of the crew know this information about the salt. And Ink sort of like pouts but turns and clambers back onto the ship from the dock.
Oh, Ink, if you have any of the other colored flares, that would be great when you have a minute.
Sure, Captain. Which color do you need?
The green ones that mean that everything is okay would be great. Also, which one was the white flares, the ones that say we need help. The red
Yeah.
flares were just fine.
All right. Do you need them immediately or?
Oh, when you have time.
All right. So she goes and she spreads word, and you definitely like. I think a couple places you notice there's a couple of crew members who like hearing that the Sparked don't like salt, they take the wrong message from that, and there's like 2 or 3 of them that have armed themselves with like stiff salted fish.
I appreciate the spirit. I do. I love the energy.
But yeah, that's just like one of those background jokes that would be in the show.
I do need to speak to Hanar though. So this place was, I've been told there's a low likelihood of it, but luck turns in any direction. But this place was frequented as a trade stop by some humans, it sounds like, and some other Sea Devil gangs.
That does confirm some suspicions I had. The Sea Devils, they certainly don't use docks like this one. So if they were trading with other ships, well, that answers the question of this here dock.
So while it is good to put the crew's mind at ease as far as our backs are concerned towards the island, I have some concerns about incoming ships.
Yeah, all right. I'll make sure that we have best people on watch tonight, keeping an eye out for any of that, and we'll keep the crow's nest manned. That's for certain.
Yes, that's a good start. Thank you.
If,
Again, perhaps this will amount to nothing, but it's better to be prepared than not to.
Here's hoping. She like does a look at the elves, including Viper, and gestures for you to like come closer, like lean down. And do you like do so? V?
Who is
V.
V?
Yeah, she's
gesture.
gesturing for you to come down.
Yeah, I think it's what is the elegant way of doing that? She does that elegantly. I don't know what that looks like, but
Okay.
it's like a half curtsy almost. Yeah.
So she whispers to you, Captain, if we're going to be keeping coming out here, we need to better arm ourselves. I'm sure you've been thinking about that, but as a bosun, I need you to know that the crew's morale is a bit fraught, having nothing but clubs and hooks to defend themselves with. The knowledge about the spark, that's going to go a long way. But if there's one ship out here dealing with the sea devils, that means there's others. Almost certainly.
These are fair concerns. I will see if Ashwood has extra weapons to spare. They might, but it is certainly something that we will invest in once we find a good supplier.
Yeah, a good call, especially since any I mean, we've seen what this island is like, and anyone who's lived outside of Enclave for the last 8 years or whatever, they're gonna be some tough customers, boss.
Most assuredly. Well, I'm happy to report that those two over there are friends.
She like looks over at Otis and Dale and like gives them a respectful nod, and they return it, but like they clearly look a little unsure about like what what passed between the two of you that earned them this.
They had a ceiling full of trophies of the Sparked.
Hot damn. That's
Viper's taking them and introducing them to Mabel and the Punch Bowl gang.
Hell yeah.
all right. Yeah, they're getting along. They as they showed back at home, they're a friendly pair. Yeah. So, what do y'all want to do?
Well, I've come and prepared my crew as best as I can think of, and it's a little late to be making the trip back to Ashwood, I think. So I think I will be getting some of those flares from Ink, and I've got crew who are going to be on the lookout, and that's good. I think I might break out a little bit of supplies just to maybe raise morale a bit.
Captain's breaking out the rum.
Or at least making something of the jerky or something
The
like
fish booze.
Sure, if you got it. I want to cook is my point. I want to cook something for my crew.
Okay. Do you have crafting cooking?
I believe I do. Yes, I have craft cooking.
Great.
And I think I have a thing from something else that's about what was the keeper class?
Yes.
Specifically about this.
Basically, it's when you make crafting checks, you can't get below a 20 plus your level of keeper. So
yeah, so 21.
yeah.
So yeah, I just make some good ass food.
Well, make your roll, because it's if you get a critical error, that ability does not activate.
That's true. Okay. That's a. I mean, it's a 10.
Yeah, but it bumps up to a. So, what kind of food are you making them? Something comforting, something filling, something fresh, something hearty, or just common food?
Uh, I think I like the idea of. Um, it's probably hearty. I would say fresh, but we don't really. Well, there was that store of fish, maybe. Uh, but no,
Oh,
I think
we having a fish fry?
yeah. Just a big old fire, right? And then a bunch of fish, um, on sticks and whatnot.
Well,
Cooking.
here, yes, but okay. Here is a question.
How,
Like,
how cook?
you're cooking on the ship, I presume,
Uh,
or are you going shoreside?
you made an expression when you said shoreside that makes me.
Well, it's just like, it's pretty hard to have a fire until you get out of the lagoon.
That's fair. No, we've got facilities. I think in the
Yeah, you would certainly have a stove
kitchen.
for I don't think you have a full-blown kitchen, but you definitely have the means to cook on the ship. I'm not denying that.
Well, we have whatever Baramy uses.
Yeah, what I forget, was he actually a cook? I know he's the quartermaster. Oh yes, he is actually a cook. Okay. Yeah, so he'll help you out with the cooking, and you have a nice meal. And I think that this is sort of like welcoming Otis and Dale into the crew in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to do during this night? Do the two of you want to have any scenes of like chatting while the crew has their little like victory celebration for plundering this community? Because I mean, that's basically what's happening.
That's what we're doing. Yeah, yo ho yo ho.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that Madam V would check in with Viper. It's like it's been a big day for all of us, but you especially. How are you holding up?
Yeah, no kidding. These kids were like 9 and 10 years old the last time I saw them.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know how they did it. I'm not that strong.
Neither am I. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. So it looks like our little assembly here is going to be growing. You ready?
I hope so. I've been, I of course am terrified and worried beyond belief, but I am covering every avenue that I can think of, and we have the crew that is as capable as the crew is, and
That was an in-character laugh.
and the folks in Ashwood are formidable to say the least, if a bit worn. So, Abby, it's your home, so I really want to defer to you as far as what happens with it.
Yeah, that's. I appreciate it. I'm not a. I don't have a head for business or logistics. Shit. The only thing I know how to do is take a punch.
Well, if you will take a punch for me, then I will do business negotiations for you. How's that for an exchange?
God, that sounds like one of the best arrangements that's ever been made.
Madam V offers 2 hands to shake.
Excellent. She grabs your hands and pulls you in for a bro hug.
She's, oh, yes. Very awkward, but very warm.
That's how we do it in the punch bowl.
I think partway through this conversation, Fertia breaks out her fiddle and begins playing a jaunty tune for the crowd. And shortly after doing that, the other musicians of the crew, Valerie Oldpot, the contrabass, and or contrabass rather, and
Also a fish person.
and Danko, he breaks out his harp, and so there's a bit of music going.
Oh, Madam V, I believe I hear your cue.
I could do a bit of singing, but I've been more in the mood for dancing. And she offers 2 hands again.
Sure, why the hell not?
I imagine Madam V is, but is
I'm
Viper a
gonna
good
make
dancer?
I'm gonna make one request, V. You have to lead.
Oh, happy to. I'll make us look very good.
Okay. So both of you add another connection with the other person. So
Oh,
both,
yeah.
I believe that puts both of you at 3 with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
I need to find that doc. Hang on.
One more personal scene and shit gets heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And don't forget to write connections for each other. In fact, do you have your connections from the last time, since both of you are at 2 with each other?
No, I forgot.
That's okay. Viper?
Yeah. My previous 2 connections with Madam V were as follows. Let's see. Madam V cares more for what people think of her than she cares about people. That was my first one. And the second one was, if people like me are the bullets, Madam V is the rifle. She has a preternatural ability to inspire action, and I hope her aim is true.
Damn, putting me to shame. That's very good.
Okay. I think the scene of the 2 of you like going off and joining the crowd and dancing, and like once the 2 of you start doing it, there's definitely like a bunch of other people start pairing off, those who aren't on watch, and there's a good time is had on the ship, on the good ship Quodlibet, and
A ship festivity, you say?
A ship festivity.
yes. And I think that is a good place to end the session for this eve.
That's like the most fucking fun and charming session ending we've had.
Yeah.
Let's make them all like.
Let's see. I think. Is this? Do y'all feel that you have made enough progress towards making this a profitable expedition?
Very solid progress, I feel like. I wouldn't say it's complete just yet. We have very good plans, but,
Yeah. So
those are worth their weight in gold, and their weight is none. So,
yeah. Okay. So with that in mind, I think that we'll hold off on. Well, y'all get let's say 400 XP for making contact with the Ashwood elves and inspiring them to like make plans bigger than survival.
nice.
Because
And despite our best efforts, not starting a fist fight with them.
yeah. Well, I mean, maybe they would have been worth more XP if you'd done that.
That mercenary mindset.
I love D20 games.
But that is not what happened. And in fact, I have added Otis and Dale to the crew under Viper's associated characters. And once Wilmer comes aboard, he will also be going in there. So, Hadrian, I will let you put in a description for Otis and Dale.
Okay.
And next time...
Spark killers.
Pardon?
Otis and Dale, spark killers.
Yeah, for real.
Well, their talent is hunting. So yeah, I'm gonna take us back to the talk screen. You know what? I'm not gonna bother fixing this since it's the end of the session. So, thank you everyone so much for joining us on this community building adventure. I'm Austin Ramsey. I've been your host for this evening and GM. You can find me and the podcast You Don't Meet in an Inn on Twitter at NotAnIn. You can find my game design work at austin-ramsey.itch.io. Christine was also with us but had to leave earlier as she was not feeling well. And she is occasionally on the Not an In Twitter as well, but for the most part it is me. This evening I have been joined by Sasha.
Hi, I've been Sasha. You can find me on Twitter at Sasha_Renell, and you can follow all my game dev stuff at TCaptage.
Thank you. And of course, last but never least, Hadrian.
Hadrian is me. Find me on Twitter at Hadrian. And pay me money, I'll give you some art.
Yes, very good art. As a reminder, Hadrian did the overlays for this stream. All of this great fantasy art is by him. So yes, that is it for this evening. We will not be back next week as I will be at Fan Expo GMing Beam Saber, hopefully for a full table. If you are going to be at Fan Expo in Toronto next week, sign up for it. Chances are, though, that by the time you hear this, Fan Expo will be long past. I hope you were there. I hope you played Beam Saber, and I hope you had a good
Fan
time.
Expo 2020, 2021, 2020.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I go to those ones. I'm a little unsure about Fan Expo compared to Breakout Con, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully well. At any rate, thank you for joining us this evening. And as a reminder, as always,
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
Don't get sparked.
Nah.
It's so bad!